Stop the wedding! This girl is not your daughter. How could you do this?
Stop the wedding! The drums stopped. Everyone turned. Mama Titi stood shaking in the middle of the crowd, her finger pointing straight at the bride. That girl is not Madame Beatrice's daughter. Gasps swept through the compound. The groom froze with the ring still in his hand. Then Mama Titi turned and pointed at another girl standing quietly at the edge of the crowd. The girl everyone had treated like a servant for 18 years. And that girl is her true daughter. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. How could this be true? To understand, we must go back, 18 years back. If a secret this big makes your heart race, hit subscribe right now, tap the bell and stay till the end because tonight's story only gets bigger. In the village of Kroko, Mama Titi was the midwife everyone trusted. No baby was born without her hands guiding it into the world. But Mama Titi carried a wound nobody could see. Years earlier, when her own daughter Efwa was struggling, she had gone to Madame Beatrice, the richest woman in the village, begging for help to buy medicine. Madame Beatrice had laughed her away at the gate. "I don't waste my money on people who will never repay me," she'd said. Mama Titi never forgot those words. So when Efwa and Madame Beatrice gave birth in the very same week, something dark stirred in Mama Titi's chest. Efwa's baby was small and struggled to breathe. Madame Beatrice's was strong, healthy, with bright, searching eyes. Alone in the birthing hut, under only candlelight, Mama Titi made her choice. "You laughed at my daughter's suffering," she whispered toward Madame Beatrice's sleeping form. "Now, suffer with a weak child of your own, and my grandchild will finally have the life I could never give her." She switched the babies. By morning, no one suspected anything. Madame Beatrice held a baby she believed was her own and named her Ajoa. Efwa held a baby she believed was her own and named her Ya. The truth was buried. But truth, as Mama Titi would learn, does not stay buried forever. 18 years passed. Ajoa grew up inside Madame Beatrice's large compound, silk wrappers, servants, soft beds. But she was often weak, tired quickly, and felt like a stranger inside her own comfortable life. Ya grew up in Efwa's small mud house at the edge of the village, waking before sunrise to fetch water, selling groundnuts by the roadside in the sun. But Ya was strong, fierce, nothing tired her. Strangely, the two girls could not stay apart. They found each other at the well, at the market, under the old mango tree, as if something invisible kept pulling them together. And there were things neither girl could explain. They both had a small crescent-shaped mark behind their left ear. They both hummed the exact same lullaby, a song neither of their mothers remembered ever teaching them. When Ya was sick once, Ajoa knew exactly what herbs to bring without being told. "Sometimes," Ajoa said one evening by the river, "I feel like I'm not supposed to be the one living in that big house, like I'm wearing someone else's life." Ya laughed, but her laugh was thin. "At least you have a life people envy. I wake up before the sun just to sell groundnuts." "At least you know exactly who you are," Ajoa said quietly. "I'm not sure I do." Neither girl understood why those words made their chests ache. Mama Titi watched their friendship grow from a distance, and fear crawled up her spine every single day. Then, Kofi, the chief's only son, fell in love, not with Ajoa as the whole village expected, but with Ya, the groundnut seller. The chief was furious. A future chief does not marry a poor girl from the edge of the village. Madame Beatrice, strangely, felt something sharper than she expected too, a jealousy she couldn't name. She summoned Ya to her compound. "Stay away from Kofi," she told her coldly. "You are not good enough for a family like his." Ya walked home with tears burning her eyes. "I never asked to be part of your world," she whispered to no one. Mama Titi overheard the whole thing, and something inside her cracked. She thought of the words she'd once heard at that same gate. "I don't waste my money on people who will never repay me," now aimed at the very girl who belonged to that family by blood. Around this time, an old woman selling cloth at the market recognized the birth wrapper Ya still owned, a rare, expensive cloth pattern. "Where did a poor family get cloth like this?" the woman asked loudly. "This pattern was only sold to Madame Beatrice's household 18 years ago." Mama Titi's heart nearly stopped. She rushed forward and snatched the cloth away, mumbling an excuse, and quickly burnt it that very night behind her hut. But it was too late. The question had already been planted in people's minds. The wedding day arrived anyway, because Kofi refused to change his heart no matter what his father or Madame Beatrice said. Drums rolled through the village, bright cloth swayed under the mango tree. Ya sat beside Kofi, glowing with joy despite everything. Ajoa stood in the crowd, smiling for her friend, but her chest ached with a sadness she couldn't explain. Then, just as Kofi lifted the ring toward Ya's ring, "Stop!" Mama Titi pushed through the crowd, shaking, tears already falling. "Mama Titi, what is wrong with you?" Madame Beatrice snapped. Mama Titi looked at Ya, then at Ajoa. Her lips trembled before the words finally broke free. "I switched them 18 years ago. I switched your babies." Silence swallowed the entire compound. Madame Beatrice's voice cracked. "What did you say?" "Ya is your daughter," Mama Titi wept. "Ajoa is Efwa's. I did it because you humiliated me, because I wanted my grandchild to have a better life. I am so sorry." Madame Beatrice's knees buckled. Efwa sank to the ground, sobbing into her hands. Ya and Ajoa stared at each other, and everything, the birthmark, the lullaby, the pull that never let them stay apart, finally made sense. They were sisters. Madame Beatrice could not speak for a long moment. Then she turned to Ya, eyes wet, voice breaking. "I told you, you weren't good enough for my family," she whispered. "You were born into it." Ya never wanted to take Ajoa's place, she said softly. "I don't want it even now." It was Ajoa who stepped between them, taking both their hands. "Mama, she didn't steal me from you. Mama Titi did. Don't punish her for what was done to all of us." It took weeks before Madame Beatrice could look at Ya without pain, and weeks before Efwa could let Ajoa call another mother too. But slowly, the two families, once strangers bound by a terrible secret, became one family bound by truth. Kofi still married Ya. When people whispered that he was lucky to marry into wealth after all, he only shook his head. "I loved her when I believed she had nothing. That has never changed." Mama Titi spent the rest of her days asking forgiveness from everyone she had wronged, finally free of a secret that had weighed on her for 18 long years. And the people of Kroko never forgot what that wedding day taught them. Blood may decide where you come from, but love decides who your family truly is. If this story gripped you, don't scroll away without hitting that subscribe button and turning on your notifications. Every week we bring you a brand new African folktale full of secrets, betrayal, and truth. You do not want to miss what's coming next.